longevity lifestyle designer. This is Zach here with secretsoflongevity.com. I'm going to do an elixir recipe. I haven't done one in a while, so I'm excited to do this today. I'm keeping my voice a little bit quiet, so I apologize in advance about the volume level, just because it's late at night here. And I'm just about to do my post-workout elixir. I actually haven't gone to the gym yet, but I'm about to head out, and I'm going to drink this when I get back. I'll actually take it with me in a jar so that I can drink that immediately after my workout. So I hope you can hear me alright. I'm talking in a bit of a softer voice. But we'll start with the liquid base that's going to go in this blender. We're going to do 1.5 cups of milk. This is raw Jersey cow milk that is grass-fed in the summertime. But of course in the winter it's going to be hay-fed, which is always going to be better than a lot of the more acidic grains that some farmers feed their cows. I'm going to next add some water. I like to just dilute it a bit so that I have more volume and I'm not taking in quite so much milk. Because I do 2 of these per day, plus if I were doing a large volume of milk every day, that would be a bit much for me personally. I am taking about 1 liter per day, which is more than most can handle. But that's just my preference in terms of the quantity that I take. So I'm just basically doing the same, so it'll bring up to 3 cups of liquid total. And then I put my most solid ingredients that need to be broken up, or the coarsest ingredients, in for the first blend. So I just open up this bag here, and I use my measuring spoon. And this is hemp seeds. I'm putting 2 tablespoons in. Great source of very easily digestible protein. The other thing I'm going to put in here right at the start, which doesn't have to go in right now, but I'm putting it in so that it thoroughly mixes in. This is slippery elm bark, so it's going to start to gel out the elixir with a bit of soluble fiber, which is great to do that first because it's going to start to do its thing before I've gotten the other ingredients in, so it's going to make the whole thing thicker. This is not so crucial at this point because I'm going to be drinking it later, but if you're going to be drinking it right away, you want to have that in there a little bit before you're going to be drinking it, because it takes time for it to actually gel up. I mean, it'll still gel up in your stomach and slow the absorption of all the nutrients, but I like to put it in right at the start here. So I just put 1/2 tablespoon for this size of a drink. If I did a fuller size drink, I'd do a full tablespoon. It's just a compostable bag, that's why it sounds like that. It's very crinkly. And I'm fortunate that my health food store has these. It's pretty cool. I personally like to see a lot more products coming in these compostable cornstarch bags, just because obviously it's not having any plastic in contact with your food. One of the strategies I'm using right now is extremely low sugar. In fact, no simple sugars on an ongoing basis. There's a few days I might have some blueberries or something. But this is xylitol, which is a very, very low glycemic sweetener. It has no glycemic effect really, but it does have a bit of a caloric value, about 1/10 that of sugar per size. It has a very sweet flavor. Just like sugar, it can be used in the same ratio if you're using it for baking or any other things. It has a slightly different type of sweetness to it. It's a little more cooling. You'd have to sample it to try, but I highly recommend a tree source of xylitol, not the, such as birch is a popular one. And that's to avoid the corn source xylitol, which you don't know for certain if it's getting in contact with GMO crops. The next thing we're going to put in at the start here is some kelp powder. I just put a dash in. It ends up being about maybe like 1/8 of a teaspoon. That gets tons of iodine in there. And again, like I was saying, I didn't kind of trailed off there, but the low sugar approach that I'm doing now is great for post-workout, because when there's no carbs in your drink, it's actually going to optimize human growth hormone and all the other androgenic hormones that are going to be raging in your body after workout. So if you avoid taking in any carbs, including complex carbs, for about 3 hours after a strength-bearing workout, so strength training, weight-bearing, probably the most intense human growth hormone output type of exercise you can do is going to be interval training. I'm going to link to a video at the end of this video here that Dr. Mercola did, which is a great explanation of this process in the body and how fructose and glucose and basically any sort of carbohydrate, when it's above a very small amount. So there's going to be some carbohydrates in the milk. It's not going to have any significant impact on me in terms of keeping that human growth hormone at its optimal level after the workout. I do consume some carbs, and when I do start consuming more simple carbs again, I'm still going to use this approach because I think it's great. You want to avoid simple sugars before the workout for an hour, and then for 3 hours afterwards, and you're going to maximize that human growth hormone potential. And that's because the carbohydrates seem to have this ability to reduce the sort of amount of time that will remain in the body, sort of repairing things and really maintaining that anti-aging approach that this hormone has on the body. So we're going to zip this up. If I can actually find the lid, I put it around here somewhere. First blend with those things I just mentioned. And what's been a great factor in all my drinks, all my mainstay of my bodybuilding program has been somewhere protein. It's been my protein powder of choice. Very easily digestible, very high in protein. It's 85% protein. And obviously the rest is going to be carbohydrates, but again, these are not having that huge of an impact, so you're just using one scoop. But that 85% protein has got an extremely high digestibility score, 98% digestibility and absorbability, which is higher than most animal-based protein powders out there. And the fact that this is raw and vegan is pretty cool. I have a link below where you can get a great deal on these if you buy 3 at once. I pay like almost 60 or a little more than 60 per bag when I get these at my health food store, but when you get them 3 at a time, straight directly from somewhere at the link below, you can get them for like $43, $45 a bag. So that's free shipping and 20% off. That's a pretty amazing deal. Next we're going to use some colostrum. It's a great rejuvenative food that I've talked about in the past. Many of these foods I'm putting in here you can find links to below if you want to grab them yourself and try them out, or if you're a regular user of them and you want to stock up, I recommend using the links below. And then also I've got articles below of anything that I've written an article about that I'm using this. So one of them in particular is colostrum. I have a very popular article on my site about that. I'm using this rest here. It's about, I think that was about a teaspoon. So I usually use it by the teaspoon. So if you're using it in small quantities, this is a great size. You can also get in a larger size, which I need to reorder personally. I just finished off this last thing here. You can get them in the 1 kilogram size, which I think is the most optimal way to use it, most cost effective. And once you've sampled it, you know it works well for you, which it works well for virtually everyone that's open to it. And personally, I feel the larger size is definitely the way to go. Next up, I want to get a good dose of zinc and some other yin-jing type minerals. And with that, we're going to use some Hoshu powder from Hyperion Herbs. You can get this on Brandon's site with a link below. And Hoshu I've talked about many times. I've got a very popular video on YouTube you can check out just by searching Hoshu in the search box at the top, and I'll also link to it at the end of this video if you want to click right through to it if you haven't seen that video before. It's quite an old one, so bear with me as I'm speaking there. I'm a little slower with my linguistics. But Hoshu is a great source of lecithin. It's a yin-jing tonic, very rejuvenative, like I mentioned, great for enhancing the deepness of your sleep. And it's fantastic for male health as well. It builds the blood, which in turn builds the seminal fluid, which you've been ejaculating regularly. And it increases fertility in that sense because it increases virtually all the various aspects of the sperm health, which a lot of people think of as a separate thing going on in the body, but really that does have a profound effect on your overall health, because if your sperm are healthy, you're going to be healthy. Sort of the Western approach of dividing the body up into these different parts is very fragmented and very reductionistic, but when you recognize that the microcosm is a reflection of the macrocosm, we want our entire body to be in excellent health, including some that we might think of as fairly separate from us, but we want the health of our gut to be good. That's going to reflect the health of our body. It's going to be tied in with the health of our sperm and seminal fluid as males, and for females it would be overall fertility, and of course hormonal health for both genders. So to really give us a great flavor, I'm going to grate in some nutmeg. I've got a fresh nutmeg nut, and nutmeg goes great, I think, with any sort of dairy. You get sort of that eggnog flavor, although I don't have eggs in this one. And it's going to take a moment. I'm going to use about a quarter of this. And fresh nutmeg is just so fragrant, I just love it. Last but not least, we're going to use a little bit of stevia. Now there's stevia in the Sunware protein. That's the vanilla one that I had there. You can get the plain if you don't want the stevia. And obviously you don't have to add stevia if you don't want it. I find I just need a touch more, like literally very tiny sprinkle just to mix in with that natural stevia already in the sunwear, and then also the xylitol that I put in at the start. Just a little bit more stevia seems to bring the whole thing up to a level of sweetness that I personally very much enjoy. So there we have it. We're going to give a little sample, although I'm not going to be drinking the whole thing right now. Let's see what it's like and let you guys know how it turned out. Good one. I've been making sort of this basic recipe. I obviously change up the herbs in it from day to day and a few other factors, but the basic recipe has been staying the same. I do 2 of these a day. A little bit different when I do each one, so I'm getting a difference of what's going on in them. But yeah, that's very muscle building. It's very low sugar, and it's great after a workout, in my opinion. Following that low carbohydrate approach, just for my take, has been the best in terms of keeping that human growth hormone up that is going to be active after any type of workout, but most so after a strength training workout such as bodybuilding, interval training, powerlifting, or anything like that, even martial arts. So yeah, perhaps check it out if you want to do something like that, and check out the links below. I've also posted the 2 videos here if you want to check those out, and with that, take care and embrace life without limits.